Hi guys and welcome to Motorscotty. I'm doing a service on my 2015 Range Rover Evoque and I just thought I'd give you a couple of tips that I find quite useful. First of all, when you jack up your car, whether you put it on jack stands or like in my case on the lift on here, the quick jack, make sure the car is secured and shake it a little bit to make sure it's stable and everything is put in place correctly. Like here, these basically it clicks in here when you lift it up, and then you lower it down a little bit until it clicks in here, and make sure it's clicked in on either sides, and push the down button long enough until you're really sure it's clicked in, and then you can make a little bit of a stability test by shaking the car. I always make sure that one window on either side is open, because you never know if you need to get in and it's locked, whatever happens, you can get in. So here the windows are open, the mirrors are folded in, but that's also mainly because I'm working in a tight space and best to have the mirrors folded in. Another useful tip is to have your stuff ready, your tools and the items you want to change. Here I have my oil filter, the new one. I put the mileage, the date and the mileage on, and the new O-ring for the drain plug. Then I have a cabin air filter and a air filter for the engine, and the engine air filter is here. So I keep that ready here. Another tip is timing. I usually drive around for 5 minutes to warm the engine up, warm the oil up, and come home, set it all up on the lift, on the quick jack. And then the first thing I do, I just drain the oil, and that can drain for the duration I do the rest of the stuff. If I can leave the car suspended on the lift like this, I can let the oil drain like I'm doing now, like it's just dripping a little bit more. And then I can get on with the air filter, the spark plugs if I need to, and do other things. And meanwhile, all of the oil can drain. I can put the drain plug back in, fill up the oil, and get on with it. When you have to take some shields off, some plastic guards and plastic shields, I always make sure that I keep the bolts with said item, like here. It's also a good opportunity to clean up all of the little dirt and debris and stones that have accumulated here on this tray. So always make sure you have some space. Obviously here I don't really have the space on my workbench at the moment because I still have that dash, the Night Rider dash, but that's a story for another video. Another useful tip is to have enough protection, have enough of gloves, have some eye protection if you need to get under the car, and like in my case, I need to take the oil filter out, which is bottom mounted, and then has to pass a hose, and then everything spills and then it falls into the bucket, and this happens. So you need to protect your eyes because it's splashing into your eyes. The old oil can be hot oil. Clean up with enough shop rags. If you can, fill up your new oil filter with fresh oil, and also put some oil on the O-ring so when you tighten it up it doesn't damage the seal. In this case I just about filled it half full because I'm gonna have to go through some hoses and gonna have to twist and turn the filter a little bit, so I don't want it to spill over me and just waste the oil, so I'm just going to fill it a little bit, better than nothing. Another useful tip is when you're changing your spark plugs, put some tape between your spark plug sockets and the wrench extension, because if you're putting the spark plugs in and you want to pull out the ratchet, oftentimes the extension gets stuck to the it just comes out of the spark plug socket, because the spark plug sockets have a little bit of a rubber insert in there to hold on to the spark plugs, and then you'll end up having the spark plug socket stuck inside the engine, and you can't fish them out. So put a bit of tape around it so it's stuck to the extension and you can pull it out. Another useful tip, not just when you're changing spark plugs, but in general when you're taking things apart, oftentimes you are required to remove other things just to get proper access to what you actually want to do. Like here I'm having to I'll just remove this screw so I can push this whole intake tube from the air filter a little bit further back so I can actually remove the coils, so I can finally get to the spark plugs. And then you have all these screws here. Then you have the screw here that holds in the coil, the spark plug coil. And just when you put everything back together, or on this side here, I actually had to remove the oil filter, the oil filler cap, so I can get my ratchet through and just move it properly. Just make sure when you put everything back together that you actually put everything back together and have all the connectors back together and all the screws here around or on the oil filter housing, and everything functions at the end, and you don't have a screw too less or a screw or bolt too many. Another thing to take note of is if you have an all-wheel drive car, it's recommended, if not necessary, by a lot of manufacturers to rotate the wheels every 8 to 10,000 kilometers because of the different wear of the tires. The wear will be higher in the front, especially if you have the directional wheels in the front. And therefore, if the wear is uneven on the front versus the rear tires, that might you might run into an issue with the differential. As small as the difference in diameter might look like when the front and the rear wheels wear out unevenly, this is what a lot of manufacturers recommend or even prescribe, as in that's mandatory to do if you want to also avoid any differential issues, especially if the car is under warranty or might be considered for warranty, even if it's technically already outside the warranty. So as you're doing an oil change, check whether it's time also to rotate the tires. I am running all-season tires with a specific mark on the winter compatibility. So these can only be changed front to back, but they have to stay on the same side because they have a rotation arrow. So I cannot cross change them, like left rear to front right and front left to left front, sorry, to rear right. So I'm just changing them on the same side. And of course, since you've gone this far as to take off the wheels, check out the brakes. Is there a bigger lip on the disc? Is it still within tolerance if you can measure it? Have a look at the brake pads, whether they are still in good shape or need to be replaced. These still look pretty good, but I'll take the proper reference of the front and rear brake pads and brake discs so I can order them and have them ready for when I need to change them.